Welcome back to the Exeter West Greenwich Junior High Student Voice. In this segment, we're going to be discussing an overview of the fall and winter junior high sports teams. But first, these fall sports. I'm here today with my panel.
Sophia Zabo.
Matthew Gowdy.
Ryan McKenna.
Miss Cochran, the girls' soccer coach, could not join us today. But the girls' soccer team did an excellent job and finished the season with a 5-7 record. Congrats to the girls' soccer team. Joining us today, however, is Mr. Craig Main, a history teacher at the junior high and the coach of the boys' soccer team. Please welcome Coach Craig Main. What are your thoughts about how the boys did this year?
We were a very young team, but we got better as the year went on, so I was very happy with it.
How was the team's attitude overall throughout the year?
Good. They were great kids. Like I said, we were young, so we ranged. We had some kids that played soccer for a number of years, and we had a bunch of kids on the team this year who had never played soccer before. So, but they had great attitude, and they really helped each other out and work together.
So when did you start coaching?
The first time I ever coached, I was 18 years old, and I had a rec team, under-8 rec team in town. And then when I started teaching here, I started to coach junior high soccer and then high school basketball, and I've been coaching ever since, and that was 13 years ago.
Did you play soccer as a kid?
I did. I played in a rec league when I was a kid, and then I played in high school.
What is your favorite part about coaching the team?
I think just working with kids and seeing them get better as the year goes on, spending time with them, getting to know them outside of the classroom, and watching just the relationships you develop with your players. I think that's probably the most rewarding part.
How have you seen the soccer program grow and change over the years at junior high?
Well, we're actually not growing right now. As you guys probably know, the numbers in our school district are lower than they were a few years ago. So the last couple of years, we haven't even had to have tryouts. Kids have been able to just sign up and play, which is very different from some of the other districts just down the road, like a Coventry or North Kingstown, where they have 100 kids try out for one team. So while that makes us, we struggle a little bit more, it's also a great opportunity for you guys because the door's wide open if you want to participate in the sport here right now.
Do you have any hopes for next year's team?
Just to get better. In junior high, it's a little different from high school because in junior high, you lose pretty much half your team or more every year. It's only 2 years when kids, leave and go on to the high school. So every year is so different. You get a whole new group of kids each year. So just to be better, just to have the same attitude we had this year and then be better at the end of the year than we were at the start of the year.
Do you think that the team will do better next year compared to this year?
Junior high is so hard to tell because every school's in the same boat where every year they're getting half the team's leaving and half the sixth graders are coming up. So the teams are changing so much, it's hard to tell. We had a lot of seventh graders this year, so I think we'll be better next year than we were this year, but we'll see.
How did the team rank in state?
We were 4th place in our division, and then they have the state playoffs that happen. So it's not really a ranking in the whole state. You don't really find that out. But we finished in 4th place in our division, so we were happy with that.
How does this compare to other years? Have you been really good other years or about the same?
A few years ago, the best year we had was 4 years ago, we went to the state championship game. So that was nice that we were the entire state, all the junior high schools in the state, and we were one of the last 2 teams. We lost to Narragansett, but that same group of kids who 4 years ago as 8th graders lost the state championship game in Narragansett, this year just won the high school state championship game against Tiverton a couple of months ago. So it was nice to see them finally get that win.
Would you encourage kids to join the soccer team?
Yeah, like I said, we have a great opportunity here because our numbers are low enough where kids who want to play can play. We're not cutting too many kids right now, and so the chance to be involved with something outside of school, be with a good group of kids, be outside. It's a great opportunity. So absolutely.
Do you know what the record was for this year?
this year, Nolan. You would remember, Nolan, you were on the team.
I don't
Do you remember what we were?
I think we won like 3 games.
A few
was it?
games, yep.
Why did you start coaching when you were 18?
Why did I start coaching when I was 18? I like sports. My family was big into sports. My father was big into sports. And growing up, it was kind of what we did. And it just was sort of a natural thing to I want to teach and then to want to coach, sort of kind of went hand in hand with that. It was a good experience to working with kids, and then I wound up doing it full time.
Did you ever play any other sports?
I played basketball.
Have you ever played at like a higher level than like
High school was
as
it.
a kid?
High school.
Well, Mr. Main, thank you so much for joining us today. From everyone here at the Student Voice, before we go, we were able to conduct an interview with Mr. Hamlin, the boys and girls cross-country coach at the junior high, to speak briefly about their season.
Thank you.
Real goal is to get the right sport, the sport, and to find out, oddly enough, how to run all over. You have to learn how to run, which is an odd thing, but you have to learn how to run competitively, which is very different from just running around the backyard, slamming into trees, you know. So, how did they do? They did really well. They always do. Coaching junior high cross country is one of the best things I do all year, because you see growth in people. In 6 weeks, people go from being, unable to run, I don't know, maybe a third of a mile to being able to run almost 2 or 3
Question that you
miles.
asked.
So there's some great improvement. People see the worth and improvement in themselves, that they can push themselves and they can achieve things that they didn't think they could do.
Yes.
So that's really what junior high cross country is about. So in that case, if you would ask me how they did, really well. If you look at our record, yeah, we didn't win a whole lot of meets, but that's okay. We're a small school, we're a small team. Like Whitford shows up, they've got 2 full buses of kids. We've got, 1 short bus with a few kids in it, and we're all like, yeah, and the kids get really intimidated, but then they go out and they run, and they actually do quite well. Normally, we have a very strong girls team. We've always had strong female runners at Exeter West Greenwich. And this year, for the first time, we saw a resurgence in some of the boys, and that was really encouraging. So those things, I think, are really good as far as, how did the team do? Yeah, they did really well because they put forth a real effort.
Okay, cool.
Well, next season, every year you want to build a little bit more, so the people that come back, you like to make those people responsible, you like to make those people captains and have them lead the rest of the team. I like to see the discipline stay consistent with these guys, because they really were disciplined and they were able to push themselves. But again, it's junior high cross country. What am I expecting them to do? Like, maybe not chuck so many acorns at each other, don't wander off into the woods and get bit by wood ticks. Other than that, it's a really good time. I mean, I can't really ask for more. They go out there, they give 100% every time. They're great. They're really great kids.
Thank you for watching this segment. We will be right back.
Welcome back. I'm Maddie Quigley. In the last portion of our show, we discussed fall sports at the junior high. And now we're going to discuss an overview of the winter sports at the junior high. I'll let my panel introduce themselves.
I'm Allie Lizette.
Matthew Gowdy.
Nick Petrarca.
Mr. Daff, the junior high wrestling coach, could not be with us today, but we should mention that the team did an excellent job this year and worked very hard. Now we have the boys basketball coach, Mr. Rocky Bramell, on to discuss his team's season. Welcome, Coach Bramell.
Thank you very much.
Now, Mr. Bromell, how long have you been working at the school?
I've been working in the district since 1985. So I've been working here since the school opened in 1991.
How much have you seen the junior high sports program evolve over that time?
Oh, well, since I've been the only coach for the last 25 years, the boys basketball team has evolved greatly. So I'm the person at the helm, which has to do with the team improving or showing their strength.
How do you think the boys team did this year?
Well, they compete. I don't expect the team to win every year, but I expect them to go out and compete at their highest level. And that's what I want, to compete at their highest level. So winning and losing is just an aspect of the game. I love winning. I do not like losing. And I let my players know that. but I do have to know that also that losing is a part of the game, and you need to learn how to lose gracefully and learn how to win gracefully also too.
How do you feel that the boys' team this year did in comparison to other schools with more kids?
Question. I don't know the number of kids other schools have, but basically I'm not really concerned how the other schools. I'm only concerned with my kids. Now, when they come out there, I want them to go on the floor. I also tell them they are ambassadors of EWG. So when they walk on, when they put the uniform on, they represent EWG for the whole entire year. So when they go on the floor, I want them to show that they are EWG students, and they have learned, they have skills, and they try their best. And so when the game's over, the other team knew that they played against an EWG team.
What do you think the team's strengths and weaknesses were?
Good question. Strength. Well, the strength, it's hard to put it in basketball terms because they're changing so often. I mean, you only have the kids for 2 years. Some kids only for 1 year. When they come out, only as an 8th grader. So it's hard to define strength. But I say that their work habits. They are willing to work. They come to practice. They show up, and they give me the full time of practice, 2 hours. So they put in the full 2 hours of work, and they get conditioned. And they are conditioned. I tell them that I expect them to go the full 4 quarters. So we will never lose a game because of our condition. So the strength is their condition. Weaknesses, I'm sorry, the weaknesses is that it's the knowledge. It's the knowledge of the game. And it's hard to explain kids the whole aspect of the game of basketball. And I always tell them if I'm telling you something, it's too late. You have to know what you're doing on the floor. If I'm yelling out signals, the other team can hear me. So you gotta know how to respond. And I want them to respond in their own way. So they know what they're doing.
What are your hopes for the team next year?
Next year is going to be a rebuilding year. I chose 5 7th graders for next year's team. That means it's going to be a rebuilding year. So I expect them to always go out and compete at the highest level. Would I like to see a championship team? Of course. Will I put that upon myself to say they will be a championship team? No, I will not do that to the kids. But when they go on the floor, they will give me their best effort out there at all times.
What is your favorite part about coaching?
Kids. You have to have a love for kids. If you don't love kids and love doing what you're doing, it's a pain. I have no problem coming to practice. I love practice because it gives me myself. I can see things going on. It's enjoyable. So I enjoy kids. I enjoy teaching kids. I enjoy working with kids, and that's the whole aspect of coaching. If you don't like kids, you should not coach, or should not teach, or should not be with kids.
Do you think you'll stay in the EWG district as a coach?
I have no plans on leaving. I have a young one, so I'll be here for time to come.
Now, this year you only had 5 7th graders on the team, and you had 1 7th grade scorer. Do you plan on taking more 7th graders next year, or?
Next year, I'm planning on having more 7th graders on the team next year. So it's a rebuilding year. So it's a nucleus now. I'm having more kids for 7th grades to learn. So when I got the original 7th graders, now will be 8th graders for next year's team, so they can train the kids coming up, so they understand how things are run. Junior high school sports is totally different than town sports because there's a higher competition level. So I want the kids to understand when they join the junior high school team, it's like making an all-star team. So we expect much more from you when you make the junior high school team. A higher level of commitment, I should say.
Did you play basketball as a kid?
As a child, I played almost all sports except for soccer and things like that. But basically, I played a lot of basketball, but my main sport was football. I played football and track and field.
How far did you play football?
I started in high school. I started playing football, organized sports in high school, my freshman year. And that's when I first started playing football. So I did not play unorganized or organized sports before that time. I played high school football, college football, and I had a short stay with the New England Patriots in 1985. Professional.
Mr. Rommel, thank you for taking the time to sit with us. Before we go, we have another interview conducted by myself to Mr. Mastriani, the girls' basketball coach, about our season this year.
Ready, go.
How do you think the season has gone so far?
I think it's been a lot of fun, and I think everybody's gotten to play, gotten better. We didn't win as many games as I think we wanted to, but we have one more game that we can win today, and I think we had a lot of fun.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Student Voice, and thank you to our guests, Mr. Main and Mr. Bromell, for joining us.
Tune in for our next segment on Student Council, who are running a school dance March 15th.